Am I audible, guys? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, guys, today we are going to discuss the another important server, which is NFS, Network File System. So one of the best sharing server in Linux environment, NFS server, Network File System. Guys, we have many ways to sharing file systems. Like NFS server is there, Samba server is there, FTP server is there, and even SCP command is there. So we have multiple ways to transferring files or to sharing the what file systems. But today we are going to discuss the best sharing server, which is network file system. What exactly mean by network file system? Okay, so first one is network file system helps you to share file systems between Linux and Unix systems, which is called homogeneous environment. What is meant by homogeneous environment? So NFS shares file systems between Linux and Unix family systems. For example, your server is Linux and client also Linux, then it will share it. But your any system within the Unix family, then it is called homogeneous environment. But when the platforms are crossed, I mean the server is Linux, client will be Windows, we cannot share it. But NFS will share only Linux or Unix family systems. That's what it is, a homogeneous environment server. And NFS allows remote hosts to mount file systems over a network. So how to mounting a file system through network? Then NFS also one solution. We can mount remote file systems over the NFS. And NFS enables you to consolidate resources onto centralized servers on the network. So that's what NFS server act as a centralized server. Centralized server. For example, I want to share 1 GB file into multiple systems. But if I copy the 1 GB file on each file system, I mean each system, from the each system, 1 GB storage will be waste. But if I share the same 1 GB file through centralized server, then only centralized server occupy the what 1 GB, but remaining people, I mean remaining servers, directly you can connect the what centralized server and we can manage the what your resource. So that's what NFS act as a centralized server. It is a sharing server. That means network file system. So based on this NFS server, in AWS platform, we have a one service which is called EFS, Elastic File System. That's why even in the EFS, people are using NFS version 4 protocol. I mean, in every Linux system uses by default NFS version 4 protocol. So here we have two important versions. One is NFS version 4 latest, NFS version 3. But in the version 3, the file system sizes are less and even allowing client to access more than 2 GB of file data. But in the NFS version 4, we have another features, access control lists, that means security, and RPC bind services, and no need any RPC bind services, and even to allow multiple mounting solutions. That's why NFS server uses by default version 4, right? And next, what are the NFS server features? So if you share the resources over the network, everyone can access same data, of course, because it acts as a centralized server. If you keep something in the centralized server, every client can access the work, same data over the network. And even it reduces storage cost. It can be acted as centralized storage solutions, and it provides data consistency, and it reduces mainly the system administrator overhead. So these are all the benefits or features in the NFS server. Fine. So now let me go. You want to install and configure NFS server. What are the prerequisites? So these are the what main configuration files for the NFS server. So I mean, we need to install NFS utils is the package name in your server system and also client system. But you want to share the resources, definitely we will use /etc exports file. And you want to change control access, then etc sysconfig NFS is the configuration file. And also the main configuration file /etc/nfs.conf. But verifying the logs, var log messages is the file name. But two services in the backend, one is RPC bind and NFS-server. But when the NFS version 3, definitely we need to install these two packages. But in the NFS version 4, RPC bind has been deprecated. I mean, no need RPC bind package. That is called what? Remote procedure call protocol. And the additional log files for the NFS server, varlab, varlib, NFS etab, and varlib, NSF RM tab. etab means export table, RM tab means remote table. So these two are maintained mounted file systems. And as usual, the port number for the NFS server 2049. That's why even in the AWS EFS file system, in the security group, people are setting up 2049 because Elastic file system completely designed based on the what NFS. So you want to access EFS file system, then keep in security group 2049 in the AWS platform. So NFS port number is 2049. Then RPC bind. In case RPC bind is running, then port number is 111. But here NFS server, RPC bind. These two are the what services or the daemons for the NFS server. But backend, these two services maintain multiple daemons, guys. Multiple daemons. I mean, if you start NFS-server package, automatically these daemons are working in the backend. NFSD, RPC bind, RPC.mountd, RPC.nfsd, logd, RPC.startd, RPC.arquatad, RPC.idmapd. So these are all of the what internally working backend for the NFS server. So these are all of the what daemons working for the NFS server. Okay, but it's not mandatory. Just internally what happened exactly, what kind of daemons are running in the backend, just idea about NFS daemons. But basically, the service name for the NFS hyphen server. Okay, it's fine. So now let me go how to install and configure NFS server. As usual, I have connected two servers in the backend. One is 10.254 as a server and another one is 10.10 as a client. Okay, now let me go. The first one is installing NFS utils package. So how to install? We can use yum or we can use DNF. So DNF install, the package name is NFS utils. The package name is NFS utils. So first install NFS utils package. Right. So the NFS utils package successfully installed. Then what is the next requirement? What package is installed if you know that NFS-utils. So now the package is successfully installed with name NFS-utils. Okay, then the another important thing, which version is installed? NFS version. I mean, what versions are available in the NFS? You will go for the what? RPC info -p is the package. I mean, see, the NFS version 4, version 3, version 2 also is there. But we require NFS version 4. So version 4 also it's running. So no issues. So 4 is already in NFS utils package. But you want to controlling versionings, then we will go for /etc nfs.conf is the file name. So this is the main configuration file for controlling NFS server. So right now here it is called, say this, and multiple versions in the NFS server, all are commented, but here see version 4 is yes, and version 4.0, version 4.1, and version 4.2. But by default, version 4 is running. So now no need to change any NFS versions in this file. Okay, because by default, NFS version 4 is in Linux systems. So that's why no need any changes in the NFS server. But you want to controlling, for example, sir, I don't want to allow the version 3 and version 4. Then where to manage it? So definitely you will go under the word NFSD section, under the word NFSD section. So version 2, is there any version 2? So there is no keyword for the version 2. Then what can I do? I will use, here it is called what? Version 2 equal to no. And same way, version 3, it is equivalent to no. Then what is the meaning? So these two versions are stopped. That means these two versions being to stop. Okay, now version 4 only it's running. That is called what? To stopping NFS versions. Okay, no need this, but including all I want. Then, and in case you want to stop the versions in the real time, please keep the word like that keywords. Okay, what is our requirement actually? So NFS is a sharing server. I mean, what kind of things you want to share it? Okay, first one is, let me create a one directory for sharing. Okay, what is my directory name? Okay, already we have some mount points, df-h. Here it is called what? AWS data file system is there. RHL9 data file system also is there. Okay, I want to share AWS data mount point. So what contains exactly this AWS data mount point? Okay, this AWS data maintain AWS file, Azure file, or GCP file. Or we can create a one directory for sharing. What is the directory name? Okay, I want to share the what? Cloud data. But already cloud data is existing. So within the cloud data, even some files are there. AWS, Azure, and GCP. Same files are there. So what do you want to share over the network by using NFS? So first you have to choose the what? Shared file system name. Okay, my file system name is ready. Either cloud data or it is called what? AWS data. Okay, let me take AWS data for the NFS share. Then where to share the resources? And keep it /etc exports is the file name. Generally, for sharing NFS resources, please write inside the etc exports file. This file maintains NFS shared resources. NFS shared resources. Then open this file and let me write the word shared data. Okay, I want to share AWS data directly. I mean, what is our mount point name, guys? So if I run df-h, this is called what? AWS data mount point. So I want to share AWS data mount point. So now here it is called what? First I want to share AWS data mount point. Then space. Then who will access this share? That is called what? If we write star. Star is nothing but can access everyone. Can access everyone. So now everyone can access this AWS data with read only, comma, sync. So here in the bracket RO is nothing but read only. So sync is nothing but it is synchronizing your shared data. So now these are the what keywords for sharing your NFS. Okay, for example, I want to share cloud data, for example. So who can access this cloud data? Okay, I want to give 192.168.10.0 by 24. Then what is the meaning? AWS data can access everyone, but cloud data can share only 10.0 network people with read only, comma, sync. Then what is the meaning? Only these network people can access this cloud data, but everyone can access AWS data. So same way, people will write like different directories for the different people. So for example, okay, here is the word. I want to share another one. Uh, like it is called what? The another directory name, cloud. I want to share the what? Cloud folder. But who can access this cloud folder? Okay, only 192 dot or sometimes people to write star dot. For example, example.com. So example.com with root only, comma, sync. Then what is the meaning? Only example.com people domain. I mean only example.com domain people can access this cloud folder. But first it was star. Star is nothing but all. I mean the computer name, fully qualified domain names, right? First one is computer name. So the computer name, whatever it may be, maybe it is a server or a host or Raju or Ram, but the domain should be example.com. Only example.com domain people can access this cloud share. So like people are writing multiple resources in the etc exports file. But once the shared resources are ready, then you can save the what? File. So now my shared resources are ready. But what are the shared resources? Under etc, exports is the file. Okay, these three are the what? Shared resources. Okay, after writing the what shared resources, then how to manage it? I mean, the services by default in the systemctl status NFS server. By default, the system status is not loaded. That meaning is inactive state. That's why even netstat, if you go for, I mean, port number, there is no port number of even 2049. See that there is no port number 2049 because NFS server is still inactive. Then what to do? First, you will start the NFS server. Start NFS server. So now NFS server is started. And even to enable NFS server, I mean to make persistent, to enable at boot time. Then finally, to verify NFS server running or not. Now it's perfectly running. Now we can check the port number. I mean 2049 has been opened or not. Next step. So now here it is called what? 2049 is listening. 2049 is listening. So now the port 2049 is open. Perfect. So here is the what? This is the what? IPv4. This is the what? IPv6 purpose. Right guys, now the shared resources are ready. And in case the version 3 is there, then people definitely to start here RPC bind also. So RPC bind is included in the NFS server version 4. But when the version 3 is running, definitely separately to start the what? RPC bind. But in the version 4, no need RPC bind. By default, RPC bind is running. So it is not mandatory in the version 4. Fine. So you want to check statistics. I mean what you have been shared over the network. Then show mount is the command. Generally, show mount is the command. -e. Then if you write 0, then it lists out what you have been shared. So now here is the word. The shared resources are AWS data can access all. Cloud data only example.com people. But cloud data 10.0 network people. Okay, what are the statistics? So here net like NFS stats is the command. So now you will check the what? Statistics server RPC status. But now RPC bind has been deprecated, so no need this. But what you have exported, I told you the another logs varlib NFS E tab is there. In the E tab, we have shared resources, cloud data, /cloud, and AWS data. So this is the way to verifying the resources under the what? Export table. Fine. So overall, your NFS server is ready. Then how to access the what? Shared resources from the client. So now we have a client system. But as usual, how to find first what are the shared resources? I mean, for example, I have shared multiple resources over the NFS server, But how clients to know what resources are shared through network? I mean, how client will display NFS shared resources. So this is important command. Again, show mount -e the server address 192.168.10.254. So now we are verifying shared resources from the 10.254 because our server address is what? 10.254. If I enter show mount command not found, because even in the client you must install NFS utils package. So this is the what? Server package and also client package, and both sides the package name is same. Then enter. So now it's being to install NFS utils package. Okay, the package has been installed. Now you will go for run the command show mount what resources shared through network. If I enter, great. So now AWS data, cloud data, and cloud data resources. In case if you don't get any output, I mean, some people will get the what errors here. Then what to do? In the server side, please check the what firewall status. So while working on the servers, don't forget it. You must stop the what firewalls. Okay, my firewalls are not running, and even get enforce of the SC Linux status is must be disabled. In case these two are the what enabled state, definitely you will get an error here because so firewalls will be blocked. So security team people will take care of the what firewalls. So that's why we will stop the what firewalls first in the server side. But everything seems fine, then no need. But in case if you don't get output, and please stop the what firewalls in the server side. Otherwise, we can open the what firewall ports with help of firewall D command. Okay, right. So now in the show mount command, everything is fine. Then next important thing, how to access shared resources. Here is the what the share point is displayed. The mount point has been displayed, but within the mount point, what data is there? How to mount this NFS remote mount point? So we will use as usual in the etc file, we can mount a file system. But before mounting, definitely mount point is required. So let me create the mount point name is NFS share. So I have created one local mount point. What is the mount point name? NFS share. Then I will add under etc fstab file. Let me write the details of the mount point. What is the mount point? The remote mount point name is 192.168.10.254 is the server address colon slash I want to mount AWS data mount point, AWS data directory. So now the local file system name is NFS share. Just now we have created NFS share directory. Now, what is the file system name? So generally the file system names are, you know that XFS, ext2, ext3, like swap, ISO9, but this is the word network file system. That's why we will use file system name NFS only. The file system name is NFS. Then as usual, defaults. It is called what? 0, 0. Defaults 0, 0. Fine. To save the file. And after modification, definitely in the local systemctl daemon, systemctl daemon reload option. Once daemon is reloaded, then go for mount space. Our mount point name is NFS share. Local mount point name is NFS share. Now successfully mounted. If you check df-h, see this NFS share has been mounted from the 10.254 AWS data. So this is the what remote mount point share. Actually, this data is available in the 10.24. It is AWS data 3 GB file system size. So if I go slash NFS share, then check it 3 files AWS, Azure, and GCP. But even in the NFS share, we cannot modify the word files because the file system has been shared through read-only. So read-only file system. This is the way, guys, to managing file systems. I mean, to sharing file systems over the network. Okay, it is very clear how to mount your file systems and how to installing and configuring NFS server. Now, my question is, okay, the organization requirement is, now I am saying, the requirement is I am asking you a question, and please everyone, my requirement is I have RHL 9 data. Actually, this is the mount point. This mount point contains the complete Red Hat 9 softwares. But I want to share this RHL 9 data for the 192.168.10.0 network people. Then how to share this RHL 9 data information? Anyone? How to share it? Please tell me the process. So generally, you will get a task. Please share the word RHL 9 data mount point for the 10.0 network people with read only. Then how to share the mount point? Already NFS server is running, and just share the word RHL 9 data mount point. How to share it? Please, anyone? It is very easy. Just 3-step process or 2-step process only. Already server is running. The question is how to share RHL 9 data through NFS server. How to share it? Go to just first open the what? Server. In the server, already I have a mount point. What is the mount point name? RHL 9 data. Actually, this RHL 9 data maintain your CD, DVD, right, AppStream, base OS, these two folders. Actually, I want to share that RHL 9 ISO data. Okay, how to share it? First, you want to share through NFS. The first important thing, open etc exports file. Remember, so you want to share anything through NFS in the environment, first open etc exports file. And what data you want to share it. So you can write, I want to share RHL 9 data. Then who can access this data? So now the document says only 10.0 by 24. I mean, anyone from 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4. Otherwise, so only one engineer is there. So he will do only installations in Linux servers. That's why. So please share the word this RHL 9 data for the engineer of 10.10 system. So then what is the meaning? So only 10.10 system can access RHL 9 underscore data with read only, comma, SYNC. Then what is the meaning? Only 192, 168, 10.10 system can access this RHL 9 data. So now save the file. Save the file. Now without restart, if you go for client system, if you run the word show mount command, show mount command, -e, the server address is 10.254. So only the previous SharePoints are available. AWS data, cloud data, and cloud only. But we don't have any RHL underscore 9 data. So what to do? After sharing the resource, without restarting your NFS server, generally, if you restart systemctl, restart NFS server, then new resources will be updated. But without restarting, how to refresh your new resources? Then we will use export fs is the command. Export fs command will update only new resources, but it's not affected to any existing resources. Then options are A for all, V for verbose, F for files. If you run these three options, then the new resources are updated. So now exporting AWS data, exported, it is called what? RHL 9 data also. Okay, so now you will go for in the client side. I mean, again run the command show mount. So now see, RHL9 data is visible. RHL9 data can access only 192.168.10.10. Okay, but now how to access the resource? So as usual, go for in the etc fstab file. But let me create a directory for accessing the resource. mkdir. Okay, this is the word rhl9.iso is the folder name. Okay, my understand. Okay, rhl9 data, rhl9 iso. So then I will use /etc fstab file as usual. So let me copy the word above lines and paste it. Now it is called what? Not AWS data, which is called what? RHEL9 data. Then what is the mount point name? Which is rhl9.iso. So again, NFS defaults. So save the file, save the file. So run the command systemctl daemon reload, then run the command mount rhl9.iso. Perfect. So now the rhl9.iso data is ready. So now this system can use this AppStream and base OS. So I need to again to copy the word this AppStream base OS files here. So person can use directly the centralized file system of RHL9 data. Okay. Then, for example, if I unmount the file system name is RHL9 data ISO. So now we don't have any data in the RHL9 data. So now what I'm saying, if I go etc exports, but who can access this file system? Only here, not 10.10, 10.100. I have been shared 10.100. Now who can access this RHL9 data? 10.100 only. But now save the file and run the command exports fs-avf. Then if I run again the command mount-rhl9 data, see that not mounted because this system is not valid for the centralized file system of RHL9 data because the system has been shared for only 10.100 system, but we are trying for 10.10. That's why it's not mounted. So it is a great security or not? So let me take again the system who can access this 10.10 now. Now if I save the file, again export-avf, then if I go again mount-rhl9 data, it is a success. Okay, so sorry, in the previously just run the command mount. Okay, so this is the proper way to managing file systems. Okay, this is called what? NFS server. So tomorrow I will tell you what is SMB server. The meaning is Samba server. So that is also important in the real environment. I mean, in the server sphere, NFS, SMB, I mean Samba, FTP. These three are the what? Important servers. Okay, so the next week, the remaining three servers, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So mostly I will finish your lectures Wednesday. Wednesday, mostly your last lecture. Okay. Do you have any queries?
Sir, initially we did not run that export TFS command, right?
Actually, export TFS.
Export
What is the
TFS.
command export FS?
Yeah. So initially we did not
So no need actually export FS. Any changes in the etc exports file, then export FS command is required.
Okay, like initially we did not do that, but we could see that in the 10.10 server through that show mount point, right?
Exactly. So
Uh,
export FS command will update shared resources.
yeah, but initially it did not, we did not do, but it was still visible in the 10.10. So how was that?
So it was visible for the what other systems, but not mounted.
Okay, 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 got it. Mhm.
So
Uh,
please can we set up an EC2 in the cloud and we transfer the file to that cloud server using this NFS?
yes, we can use the word cloud server also, but while sharing, you must to keep the port number 2049 in the security group. Okay, definitely you will access the what resources, and definitely you will configure the what NFS and EC2, but while running, you must keep the what port number 2049 in the security group. But remaining process is same.
Okay.
So one small question, sir.
Mm.
In that VI editor, you copied the last line again, right? How you did that?
YY. Copying means YY.
Okay.
Paste means P.
Okay.
Please watch the what basic lectures we I am editor.
Okay. Yes.
I told you in the initial classes. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.